Hi everyone, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag Show. Friday, November 24th. Crazy time in sports betting, but Jim and I are covering it all and giving out winners overall quite impressively. Yesterday, I'm proud to say that I nailed all three of the totals in the NFL Thanksgiving Day games, and Jim nailed two of the sides. Passed on the other one, so we were 5-0. We gave you, out of the sides and totals yesterday, we gave you winners on 5 out of the 6 officially. The only one we didn't give an official pick on was the Redskins, which I also gave a lean on and was one of my plays. So we nailed those Thanksgiving Day games. And college basketball, we're doing okay, except yesterday, it's so funny how it happens that way. Every time I talk about how I'm tripling up or 5 timesing up on some game, I always feel like I know I'm going to have a decent overall day and then lose all 5 of these and wind up on negative. That's exactly what happened yesterday. Had an overall nice day in college basketball, but I went 5 ways on that Arizona game. I had Arizona the first half, Arizona minus the points, Arizona team total over, first half over, full game over. All 5 of those lost, baby.
Yeah.
And you tailed it, Jim. You took 2 losses on that one as well. You took Arizona. You took the team total. Team total over.
Yeah. These things happen.
These things do happen, but the good news is overall, Jim and I are still, of course, just rolling along, mostly winning, more winning than losing, and I don't know what our overall records are. I think there might be 1 or 2 records that are negative, but overall, doing very well. Today is obviously a huge slate of events, and Jim and I have done a little division of labor here, a little split. I've covered college basketball and college football for the early games, and Jim has covered NBA and NHL, and then, of course, we will be back at 6 o'clock, where I will definitely, at the very least, be on top of the night games in college basketball and college football, and Jim will be on whatever he has time and the inclination to cover. So even on a huge, crazy day like this, and I'm doing UFC later on today, so even on a huge, crazy day like this, we're getting it all done, Jim.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Just jump out of bed in the morning when we're winners. And it's quite the opposite when we're losing, and it's just a treat to wake up today.
And you saw what happened with Ole Miss yesterday, right, Jim? Yeah. So saved you a loser on that one. I had another casher on that one too. If the NFL games weren't enough and you needed to bet the college football game too, we gave you a winner on that one too, Jim.
Yeah, no, there is no question about it that I'm capping better than I have in my whole life because I sit beside you.
Very nice.
Because I sit beside you, and we have all these great cappers that we talk to every day. Everybody's making each other better, and it's just I couldn't be more thankful to have this seat.
That's right. You're in the big leagues now, Jim, and there are some. You see it sometimes in MLB where when guys take a step up in class, their results get better, and it's just because some people are built that way. All right, it's good to see that you are. One thing that impresses me, though, Jim, about you, and I will say I thought about this, and this impressed me about you, Jim, is that you have a very good constitution when it comes to your own opinions. And, a lot of, pseudo-sharp people could have been, saying, oh, I think that Dallas is going to be the play, over the Chargers because it seems so contrarian. But you stuck hard with your handicapping of that game. Same thing with Detroit yesterday. It would have been very, very easy to second guess yourself, to think about what a sharp guy would be doing in that situation. But you stuck to your handicapping. You were on the right side, even though they were small road favorites, which can sometimes be, the quote-unquote square side. Very impressive, Jim.
Oh, man, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It means the world to hear that stuff from you. You're a legend in the business, and
absolutely.
I just love this shit.
All right, let's get into the games today. The first segment that we're going to do is college football. We're going to get to the college football and college basketball games first because, of course, those are going off very soon. Now, I have in college football, I've looked at the games up till 7 o'clock. Then this evening, I'll cover the games 7 o'clock and later. And in college basketball, I've covered the games up to 4 o'clock. The games between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. If there's anything I'm liking there, I'll tweet it out. And then tonight, I'll cover the games from 7 o'clock on. In college football, let's throw the record up for college football. Because overall, things are going pretty well. After my winner last night, my record overall in college football. Let me just find the updated records here. Overall, my record in college football. Wait till the sheet comes up here. Also, I'm thinking about maybe suggesting that we change the graphics. You know why? Because those numbers, they're not very clear, and the plus kind of goes, I want the plus to stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people could comment on that, because I'm looking at those numbers, they don't look very clear. Like, those would be great graphics if we were negative. The font I'm talking about. The font for the numbers would be great if we were negative, because it's kind of like a little bit fuzzy, and they all kind of go into each other. But I want to find, when we're positive, and by the way, reporting our records honestly is something that I will always do, but changing the font of the records is totally acceptable, right?
Absolutely.
If you want to change the font of a record to be harder to read when you're negative, that is totally fine.
For sure.
Absolutely. And so this font strikes me as a little bit hard to read. I want to tell the graphics people to save this font for negative records and maybe get a different font for the records that we have right now. Again, in college football, after yesterday's win overall on the year, which includes all my leans and my mistakes and my tails of this guy and that guy, 110 and 95, plus 6 units, plus 2.7% ROI on the year, which is fine. All right, so today in college football, there are a few plays that I'm liking in the early game, some interesting stuff going on. I'll get into it right now. Let me just find these games. Well, first game at 1 o'clock is Ohio-Buffalo. And, you know, that's a very interesting one. Obviously, Ohio, an extremely strong team that I don't like to bet against, but the loss to Akron last week has to be, you know, not sitting well with them, right? Now they have to go on the road and play Buffalo, who is overall a less talented team, but they did get their quarterback back. Now they're, you know, they're at home getting points, and my lean would definitely be to Buffalo here. Also, Jim. Now you did not look at college football, but what if I told you that Ohio's leading receiver is also unavailable for this game with an injury? That would be another reason to bet Buffalo, right?
Absolutely.
Now the line has gotten bet up. It was 5.5. Now it's up to a 6.5. Let me see where it is right now. But I was definitely leaning Buffalo plus 6.5. That's a borderline play because just in general, I don't really like to bet against Ohio in any situation. They're a very disciplined, consistent MAC team, right?
Yeah, just a quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but there's a lot of comments that our audio is not loud enough. So should we do a couple quick adjustments?
Yeah, no, the thing we like to do here is make tech changes without testing them before the shows. That's one of the hallmarks of SBR production, which you know. Okay, all right, okay. Did they hear it all, what I said?
They did, just not loud enough. They want us to speak up. And
well, I'm speaking the same level as always.
I know, but you're giving out glory, so I just want to make sure that everybody can hear it.
All right, sorry about it. I just said a bunch of nice things about Jim that no one could really hear. So yeah. Could they hear it at all?
Yeah.
They could hear it.
Yeah.
It was just straining? Okay,
Yeah.
D. Kaiser says, I hear the audio great. Okay, so let's look at this at the line right now. Yeah, it is 6.5. The Greek has a lean to Buffalo. They're now at 6. So you know, it's definitely the line has gotten bet up, which is a little bit concerning. But I would definitely be leaning Buffalo there. I'm going to think about it. Then the next game is Missouri and Arkansas, and that is another very interesting one. Missouri obviously has turned a major corner, and they're not quite the kind of team that's going to come to play, be competitive against the elite teams that they're playing against, but Arkansas is obviously far from. It's just a disaster season for Arkansas. The coach is probably going to get fired. I would say almost definitely going to get fired after this game. Reports are, though, that the play. Now, let me ask you about this one, Jimmy the Bag. You know, in college football, in the NFL, everyone's about numero uno, and like, fuck you, pay me, don't pay me, I'm not playing. But in college, supposedly, the players, quote unquote, love certain coaches, right?
Yes.
And supposedly, if you believe the research and the reports, although you're never going to read an article where the players hate the coaches, but supposedly the reports are that the players, quote unquote, love Brett Bielema for Arkansas. They know this is going to be his last game, so maybe they come to play here.
That's a very interesting take.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting angle that could be completely on the right track.
Yeah. So my sense is this is a high total because of how Missouri has been playing recently. Arkansas has a lot of injuries. They're banged up, and their strength is in the running game. So my play on this one was on the under, and I did bet this one. I'm concerned that it's getting a bet up right now, but I will make this one an official pick under 69.5. Missouri, Arkansas. It's that's at Bookmaker, DSI, the Greek, and UWager. I am going to take the under 69.5. Now this is that's tricky because obviously Missouri's been putting up 50 game in and game out. So that's a little bit of a contrarian play there, and this game does have at first glance 70 points or more written all over it. But I'm going to take a shot with the under. I'm going to bet that Arkansas steps it up defensively, and I'm going to bet that Arkansas runs the ball a lot, and Missouri's explosive passing game hopefully will be held down at least a little bit, although that could not happen. And I might eat a loss, which might happen. I have 95 official picks losses in college football this year, 110 wins though, so you never know. So, but I am going to take the under on this one. 69.5 minus 110. Pinnacle has 68.5 plus 100. That's also tempting. Jim Wallach, since I'm covering college in the segments that I'm covering, why doesn't the other person look for comments? So if you see any comment that's either funny or informative, jump right in. Just interrupt me as has anything come in?
Yes, I'll definitely start with Winky Pop. Hey Pete. I was recommended to your sports show by my beautiful transvestite friend at the drag queen dance contest last night. You're definitely a cutie pie.
Okay. Well, I'm not. Yes, I'm definitely. I support trans rights. I am not transphobic in the slightest. So very, very nice. Thanks. Welcome. What's the guy's name? Winky Pop. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Winky Pop. Welcome. All right.
Adam Lastman says Missouri over easy.
Really?
DJ Frostbite says, but the Miz defense is good.
Yes, and I mean, Missouri's defense has been stepping it up recently. Look, I can understand. Well, I might be wrong about this one. I look at my numbers, and sometimes I make a judgment on a reversal of form from what the numbers say. Obviously, there are very strong reasons to like the over here. So I might be totally wrong on this one. But it's a judgment call, and I'm taking it under 69.5. I might be totally wrong here, and you might be right, Adam Lastman. Missouri scores 47. Yes, that could easily be the case. Big Man on Campus says Austin Allen is back in for Arkansas. Yes, yeah, he absolutely is, and he's probably going to have a strong game as well. I'm just concerned about the game plan that Arkansas is going to employ because they're banged up. They're going to, if they're going to be able to step it up, it's going to be on defense, and probably they're going to try to keep the ball out of Missouri's hands. So you look, it's a wacky game. It's been a lost season for Arkansas. It's Bielema's last game, and Missouri has absolutely turned a corner. Now they're going on their last game on the road. We'll see how it turns out. I might be right.
Gerard says Mizzou -8 is the lock of the day. Arkansas has nothing to play for. Kids hate losing. Dom Ricci says took Missouri -8.
You might be right. On the other hand, the kids, quote unquote, love Bielema. And so it's a little bit, in these rivalry games, especially when it's the last game that a coach is you might be right, though. They might, like him, but they're not going to, do anything special for this one. Yes, obviously it's been a horrific season for Arkansas, and Missouri has made an impressive turnaround for real recently. So, look. I'm taking the under. Yeah, Adam Lastman says Missouri's going to put up 45 by halftime, and you might be right there, Adam Lastman. And I might be getting way too cute here. And but look, I'm going to take it. Jake Bell says he's on the under. All right, Jake. If it loses, you can blame me. But just understand that you got to bet size appropriately, and that I openly might be wrong. Yes, it might. Look, it might be 45-3 Missouri at halftime. Absolutely. Adam Lastman is right. So we'll see. Under 69.5. I'm going to take that one. I might be dead off here on all these plays that I've got. The play that I am liking the most, though, which I will be very surprised if anyone disagrees with, out of the college football games, is Troy against Texas State, and I think I like them on the first half quite a bit more. Texas State banged up. Troy is, as if they didn't have enough advantages already, rested, so they're much more rested. They're at home. Texas State is just probably not going to be able to be too competitive here, and I like Troy on the full game, and I think I like them a little bit more even on the first half, which is just -14. That's definitely my favorite bet of the day games, and I'm going to take Troy first half -105. Now, the last time Troy was in this spot where they were very well rested and at home and looked like they might be a good bet, they lost outright to South Alabama. So, that's something to think about. But I don't think Texas State's going to be able to bring much here at all. Again, they're banged up. They weren't that good to begin with. And so now I'm going to take Troy on the first half, -14, -105. I would also be leading Troy on the full game. And Jim, if you see anyone disagreeing with that pick, I'll be shocked.
No, there is no disagreements. But there's a comment by Bradley Oliver. Loshak bag. From the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you guys. Taking some of the advice you guys give us got me deep in the black. You guys are the best. Thank you for everything you guys do.
There you go. Take note. Everyone who should be taking note of that. Thank you very much, Bradley Oliver. That's a lot of hard work that goes into producing a show like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jim and I do our research. There's no substitute for research. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
I know Jim works his ass off, and me, that's all I do is research, prep, and do these videos. And I love it because I live for these comments. Thank you so much, Bradley Oliver. All right, so I love it when I give winners, don't want to give losers. Obviously, I'm feeling nervous about that Missouri-Arkansas game. I like the Troy one a lot better, but we'll see how that one turns out. Then the very interesting game is South Florida and UCF. Now, this one, it was 61 earlier, and I bet the over on 60 when it was 61. It's since gotten bet up to 62.5, 63, or 64. Obviously, two huge offenses here. This one does appear to have over written all over it. South Florida has played some modest scoring games this year, and because their totals are usually high, and they tend to be run heavy, they've actually been an under-trender on the year. So South Florida's been an under-trender on the year. Last year's game, though, went sky high. It went to 76, and I took the over when it was 61. I was surprised / concerned that it got bet from 63.5 down to 61 when it opened. Now it's back up, and I think I do like the over here. Again, this could be another trap that I'm falling into, a little bit too obvious, and maybe the Missouri game soars over, and this one is a surprising one that stays under because this one is obviously a huge game for both teams, so maybe they'll be a little bit more conservative, whereas the Arkansas game, obviously doesn't mean anything to Arkansas, and Missouri is just rolling. So for psychological reasons, this one might be a better play on the under, and the Arkansas game might be a better play on the over. But I think I'm going to take the over on this one at 62.5 minus 113. Any comments on that?
Yeah. Walter Trotter says, me too, UCF will roll today. Mm-hmm. And then there's a bunch of people just really thankful that we're hitting winners.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Andrew G. MGTOW men are hard workers. Look, I mean, when you stop trying to get laid, you have all kinds of time. You don't even know what to do with. All kinds of time, all kinds of freedom, all kinds of clarity, all kinds of peace internally. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jimmy.
Donnie Rightside loves UCF minus 9.5, says Don Ricci. Mm-hmm. Shooter says, Loshak, I'm with you on the Troy. Let's cash this bad boy.
The Troy, that one I'm not conflicted about internally. The over in the UCF game and the under in the Arkansas game, I am conflicted about. Yeah, UCF. I mean, the issue with South Florida is they just haven't really played anyone, right? And so their schedule. So this is one of those situations where in college football you're always confronted with it when a team hasn't been tested as much as you'd like. How good are they really? And you can look at their numbers against, bad teams, or against mediocre teams, but that can be a little bit illusory. Donnie Rightside loves UCF. That line has gotten bet down. It opened at 11. It's now down to 9.5 market wide, and Bet Online has, the Greek actually has 8.5. Wow, so if you like UCF, that line does appear to be headed down. I will take the over on this one, even though South Florida has been an under-trender, and in games like these, when both teams are ranked and high scoring and go against each other, a lot of times you can see, and a lot of times sharps come in on the under on plays like that. But I'm going to take the over, UCF over 62.5 minus 113. That might be a really stupid play right there. Wouldn't at all be surprised if some sharp, I'm assuming it was early sharp action that drove that line down from 63.5 down to 61. But yes, I'm going to take the over. Again, I like the Troy one a lot better. Then the Iowa-Nebraska game, that's a complete pass. I mean, Nebraska is a similar situation to Arkansas, just a complete disaster of a year. The coach is probably going to get fired. Iowa's in a weird spot because obviously they've had some great games this year. Their last two games were pretty bad, straight up and ATS losses. I'm going to stay off of this one. You never know what you're going to get with Nebraska. Anything happen. That's been the case with them for years now. My lean would definitely be, though, to Iowa at minus 4.5. I don't think that Nebraska is in a good spot here at home, and Iowa is a team that obviously has the capability of hanging with anyone in college football. So I would definitely be leaning Iowa minus 4.5. I might be being stupid here. The best plays on this card might be like Iowa, the Arkansas over, and Troy minus the points. I'm taking Troy. I'm staying off of the Iowa-Nebraska game. I'm taking under in the Arkansas game, and I'm taking the over in the South Florida game. I might be looking at a 1-2 day here, Jim.
Well, J.D. Williams says Iowa is my #1 pick of the day.
Yes. Obviously, yes. Iowa is a strong play, and probably on the first half as well. At just -2, minus 115 at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag. I will take that one. I think if Iowa wins, if Iowa covers, they come out early, big, and I will take Iowa first half -2, -115 at BetOnline sportsbetting.ag. They probably, if they cover the first half, they probably cover the full game as well at 4.5 or 5. But I'll just take the first half, Iowa -2, -115 over Nebraska. Iowa has got to be salty after their recent losses, and Nebraska again just a team, just a lost season. All right. So
Jose Ruiz is with you, says I took Iowa money line, but then JK says, as someone from Iowa, I don't trust them. It's a state rivalry. Anything can happen, even though Nebraska is garbage.
Yes. Nebraska, yes, you're right, JK. Yes, it is. Everything is true. And in general, I feel like I am negative significantly over the past bunch of years betting on or against Nebraska games. It's just they've just been a schizophrenic program. And yeah, so look, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. And Jose Ruiz and Iowa is playing for a little girl with cancer. They are? Wow, I didn't know that. All right, I'm definitely on Iowa. I mean, that shit does matter. It's mostly just a fate of Nebraska here. Yes, it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen with Nebraska, but we'll see. Nick Ritz says, let's see if Iowa scores in the first 15 seconds again. Yeah. Oh, and also, here you go. Jag the Capper says, Jim, we did it again with Western Kentucky. Great call on that one. Jimmy the Bag. I actually broke even on that one, even though I did take the Purdue team total over. I also had the first half over, which cashed. Andy Harris says, take Iowa. Okay. Dom Ricci says, Donnie said it will keep going down. UCLF. I put my half wager down and waiting for kickoff. Okay. There you go. Donnie Rightside likes UCF. I took the over, which is a little bit iffy, but again, last year they exploded offensively, these two teams, and this year, again, two huge offenses as well. And then in the New Mexico-San Diego State game, that's another game where I'm leaning San Diego State, and I'm not quite sure why this total is so low and headed down. Obviously, New Mexico is anemic offensively, but New Mexico got gashed by UNLV last week, and San Diego State figures to gash them at least as much. And probably at some point, New Mexico State can put up, a touchdown here or there in the span of the game. So I'm not at all understanding why this total was so low and getting bet down. I liked it on the over when it was 48, and now it is down to where is it right now? Total on that game is, 46.5, 46 at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag. I don't understand that one at all. We have seen this year, of course, Jimmy the Bag, a bunch of games where the total has just been totally wrong in college football, right? I guess the best play might be just taking the San Diego State team total over, which right now would be, let me see, it would be what, let's see, 46 there, like 34. So that might be a good play right there. I mean, UNLV put up 37 on New Mexico last week, so I'd be leaning the New Mexico State team total over on that one, and also the San Diego State, and also the San Diego State first half play. It just looks like New Mexico is going to have some issues. If anyone's got some comments on the New Mexico San Diego State game, I'd love to hear them. But as of right now, I'm leaning over San Diego State team total over, and the San Diego State first half line, if not the full game as well. Let's see.
Dom Ricci says, I took that one too, San Diego State over 46.5.
I don't understand why the line has gotten bet down. And I know that San Diego State last week actually struggled in the first half, and I had them on the full game, and then and I was like, oh damn, they're not getting it done. And then the second half, they absolutely ran away with it. So it's possible that the same thing could happen here with San Diego State, and the fact that it's an early start might mess with them a little bit because they are a West Coast team. Don't worry, Jim. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to everything. Good, okay. I will. I got to be liking the over on that one. And despite the line move that makes no sense to me, I will take the over 46. San Diego State over 46 minus 116. That is the current line at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag. I did bet this one, and I think I got 47.5. But the line is headed down, and I will take the over 46 minus 116. San Diego State and New Mexico, and I would definitely be leaning over San Diego State on the first half. And let me just I'll hold off on that one for now. But I'm definitely leaning that way. And again, the Buffalo Ohio game, Ohio Buffalo. I'll take that one. I'll take Buffalo. I got to do it. It would be a no balls play if I didn't do it. And as you know, Jim, I'm trying to give my no balls plays more and more and more. I wish I was getting 7, but I'm not. I will give Buffalo plus 6.5 minus 106. Minus 105 at Intertops. Now that pick, I'm sure that some people are saying, don't do it, Loshak. Oh, I was going to roll them. Let's see. Let's find those.
Not yet, no.
Not yet?
But people are with you with the San Diego State.
Yeah.
Jose Ruiz says it can be a lopsided game. Mexico doesn't score more than 10.
Yes, and if New Mexico doesn't score more than 10, if New Mexico scores 10, I think I still might be liking the over there because San Diego State, again, I think they're going to roll them. I think San Diego State minus the points is a good bet, and probably on the team total over as well. Man, I really want to give San Diego State minus 21 at minus 110 at Pinnacle, and I will give that one. I'll give San Diego State as well minus 21, minus 110. San Diego State has been a sharp side reported by Brent from DSI many times this year, and this looks like a good spot for them to roll as well. All right, so I am giving Buffalo plus 6.5 minus 105 at Intertops. I'm sure some people are disagreeing with that, but I'm going to take it. Let's see. I'm taking the under on that one, blah, blah, blah. All right, and we covered every game. Now, once again, at 6 o'clock, I'll cover the 7 o'clock and later college football games, of course, tomorrow morning, doing the show with Big Man on Campus. As of right now, all my college football picks: Buffalo plus 6.5 minus 105, San Diego State minus 21. The Arkansas game under 69.5 minus 110, which a lot of people disagree with, and I understand why. Troy first half minus 14 minus 105, and I should probably give the full game on that one and the over on that one as well, but I won't. UCF over 62.5 minus 113, Iowa first half minus 2 minus 115, and the San Diego State over 46 minus 116. Now let's move on to college basketball, where, again, there are early games. That's why we're doing it in this order. And then we will get to NBA and NHL, which Jim has covered today. Let's throw the college basketball record up, despite the fact that I am actually slightly negative, thanks to friggin' Arizona. I don't know what the hell happened there. But Jim, you are kicking ass in college basketball, and you're 7-3 overall, and that includes the 2 losers that you had to eat with Arizona yesterday. I feel like if I hadn't gone all over that one and commenters hadn't gone all over it, you wouldn't have been on it, Jim.
You know what? You give me so many wins. Who cares if I get a couple losses?
Yeah, that's right. Look, what can I tell you? I thought it was a good play.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona, that's 2 straight bad games in a row for them. I'm definitely going to have to look into that. But, Jim, despite the eating 2 loss on that one, great call on Western Kentucky yesterday, and a couple of other great calls. Great call. All your calls were not close, even. Gonzaga covered easily. You're like a poor man's Big Man on Campus. Gonzaga covered easily. Florida covered easily. Very, very nice calls there, Jim.
Thank you. It's really early in the year, and things can go south fast, but thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Jose Ruiz says USF covers. Remember, I said it. So Jim is 7-3 in college basketball, plus 3.5 units, plus 35% ROI. But more than that record, he's impressed me with his picks that have covered easily. And look, I mean, at first glance, taking Florida minus double digits against a good program like Stanford is not an automatic easy. It's not a no-brainer play. But you did your research, and it was obviously way the right call. Okay, college basketball. Let's get into it. Again, a bunch of plays that I did play, and again, I've only covered the games up to 4 o'clock, so this is just going to be a short segment here. Anything I like from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I will tweet out, and then at 6 o'clock Eastern time, we'll cover the 7 o'clock games. The bets that I did make, what were the bets that I made on these games? I did take a shot with the under in the oh, wait a minute. That's from yesterday. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Here we go. Yes. Okay. I did take a shot with the under in the Long Beach State-Oregon State game, and I also took a shot with Long Beach State getting points at Oregon State. I'm not sure if I want to make either of those official plays yet, but Long Beach and Oregon State, of course, played recently. Oregon State won by, I think, 8. So this is a revenge spot for Long Beach, and, of course, they already played them somewhat tight this year. Long Beach State is no great shakes, but neither is Oregon State. So I definitely was leaning under and Long Beach plus the 9.5. It's now up to 9.5. I might give that one as an official pick. I did also give the over in the BYU Alabama game. Now that's a tricky one because it is being played again in a big arena, and sometimes when 2 high-scoring teams go up against each other in a big arena like that, the scoring can be a lot more modest. But I think that's a decent play. BYU, we know what they do. They can ramp up the scoring at any point. In their last game, I had the over, and the first half was it was one of those typical BYU games, a modest scoring game in the first half, and I was like, wow, maybe I was stupid for taking the over, and they wound up scoring like 115 second half points, not in overtime, in regulation, and the game soared over. So I'm going to take the over in the BYU Alabama game. Hold on one second. Over. Okay. All right. Let me make sure that I'm not connected here. Okay, the over BYU Alabama, I bet that one, and I am kind of liking it. The Oral Roberts Penn State game, I also bet the under on. I got 148, or no, I think I got 149.5, and it moved to 148. Penn State, in general, has been a pretty good defensive team last year, this year, except for their last game, which was not good. So I think they're going to go back to that. And Oral Roberts is a team that can be involved with modest pace games if the other team is preferring that style. So I took the under on that one. The UNC Arkansas lines came out too late for me to be able to handicap that. But again, I'll look at that, and if I like anything, I will tweet it out. And the St. Mary's Washington State game, a very interesting game. I would lean Washington State plus 18. But St. Mary's is awesome, so I definitely, it might be another spot where, just like with the Harvard game, if St. Mary's is up by 35 at the half, I might take a shot with Washington State on the second half. And the opposite is true as well. If St. Mary's is down at the half, although that's hard to imagine. But yeah, Washington State getting all those points is tempting. The Northern Arizona UC Irvine game on the under is another bet that I bet small. Tennessee NC State game is another bet that I bet small on the under. Rutgers is probably going to blow out Eastern Carolina, so I bet them at -12, and I also took a small shot with the over at 134.5 on that one. And those are all my leans in college basketball, so let me just decide. And I also think that Jackson State has an edge over Maryland Eastern Shore, and I would lean that way as well at -3.5. So let me just quickly make some of these leans official, and then we'll move on to NBA and NHL, which Jim has covered today. All right, Jim?
Sounds great, man.
Any comments coming in on any of the leans that I mentioned that I was liking?
Yeah, Jose Ruiz says St. Mary's over is a good play. A lot of guys are on Roll Tide -4.5. Max Smart, who is doing a great job in college basketball, says Oregon State covers this time.
Okay.
Jose Ruiz says Long Beach played like girls. Nick Ritz says I'd take Bama. Juan Juarez says I'm on Long Beach State. Jose Ruiz says St. John's rolling. Paulo Marquez says Long Beach. Max says Oregon State rolls.
Yeah, that's an interesting game. And obviously, Long Beach State was terrible in their last game, and they're going to have to step it up here, and they might not necessarily be able to. But one pick I will definitely add on will be the over 150. It's actually 150.5. U-Wager has 151.5. But in the BYU Alabama game, I will add the over on that one, 150 -110. That's the current line at BetDSI. And the Penn State game is also it's gone up a little bit, 149. U-Wager actually has 149.5. I will add the under on that one, 149.5 -110. I'm not too happy to see the recent line move on the Penn State game, but I will take that one. Oral Roberts and Penn State under 149.5. -110. Normally, I would also be thinking about doing halftime stuff with this, but I will hold off on that one for now. The Tennessee NC State game, I'm definitely leaning under, but I have to think about that. The Northern Arizona UC Irvine game, I really want to give the under on that one, and I will give that one. I will give the under on the Irvine. Northern Arizona game. Best line right now that I'm seeing is 143.5 -110 at U-Wager and Bookmaker and a bunch of places, so I'll add that one on there. The Long Beach State Oregon State game. What do I want to do there? I will take the under. Who knows who will cover? The first game went very high scoring. I will take the under on that one. This one also might lose, but I will take the under on that one. It appears to be headed up a bit, but Pinnacle has under 154 -104, and I will take the under in Oregon State, Long Beach State, 154 -104. That's the current line at Pinnacle, and I think I'll just leave it at that in college basketball. Although I really want to take Rutgers here. I think they're going to roll East Carolina. East Carolina has serious issues this year. And I will throw on Rutgers. As well. Let me just find the best line there right now. Where is that line? What the hell is that line? Rutgers -12, -117. All right, I will take that one as well. Rutgers -12, -117 at Pinnacle right now. Of course, we use 12 o'clock Eastern time lines, and I'll leave it at that. So my official college basketball plays: Oregon State under 154 -104, Alabama over 150, Penn State under 149.5, Irvine under 143.5, and Rutgers -12 -117. Any notable comments agreeing or disagreeing with anything?
Yeah, Ace King says Rutgers rolls. Yeah. Max says Rutgers is solid pick.
Yes.
Maxwell says Rutgers is cake.
Yes, and I would also be leaning Rutgers on the first half as well, but I'll just hold off on that one. I'll hold off on that one. All right, those are all my picks in college basketball. Now let's move on. Jim the Bag has covered NBA and NHL. Let's throw the NBA record up there because it is very positive. Although I've had a bunch of losing days. I'm headed down, but I'm still up nicely. And Jim battling back in the NBA had a nice winning day last time out and is positive officially. I am 49-40, up 5.5 units, up 6% ROI. Jim 58-55, up 1.5 units, up 1.2% ROI. And those are positive records. Very nicely done. Jim, what do you like in NBA today?
Well, let's start. I like the Knicks at Hawks. Hardaway goes back to the city where he had his breakout season last year. He's coming off a monster performance versus the Raptors where he put up 38 points. I was very impressed at how they outscored the Raptors 41-10 in that third quarter. They played a defensive style where they were really defending the perimeter and defending the rim, something that I hadn't seen a lot of from the Knicks this year. The Knicks are 10-2 when they score 100 points. I think this is a good spot for him. John Collins looked great in his first start with the Hawks, and I like this kid. 14 points, 10 assists, 7 for 9 from the field. He was their only bright spot in their 13-point home loss to the Clippers. He held his own against Griffin, and now he has to try his hand at Porzingis, and that's just going to be very, very tough. Now, Jarrett Jack will have his hands full with Dennis Schroeder. I expect that Ntilikina, because he's over his sickness, will come in and will help. So it won't all be on Jarrett Jack to slow down Schroeder. But, yeah, I'm taking the Knicks as an official pick today.
Okay, best line right now. We use 12 o'clock Eastern time line, strictly -1.5, -104 at Pinnacle.
Okay, got it. Love it.
Okay.
Then I'm taking the under in the Magic at Celtics game. Magic have lost 6 straight, have lost the last 14 times they visited TD Garden. Vogel says the team has to play mad for 4 quarters. They have to be very aggressive defensively. Fournier says they have to play like it's a playoff game. Because of these things, I think it'll be a defensive battle. I think there's going to be a lot more aggression, a lot more defending the perimeter, a lot more defending the paint. The Celtics' winning streak was snapped last game in Miami. They've come back from one 17-point deficit, 2 18-point deficits. The Celtics beat the Magic November 5th, 104-88 in Orlando, had 6 players in double figures. The Celtics are clearly a deep, young basketball team, and I think the Magic, they're basically their season, it's so early to say this, but their season's on the line. They had such a great start. They've lost 6 straight. Vogel's called out the team, and I like the under in Magic Celtics. All
right, a lot of people agreeing with you. Bet Edge says Knicks 6-0 ATS against Atlanta, last 6 overall. Devang Desai says Knicks all day. Johnny Redbeard still laughing about my not the shiny time thing. I love when people appreciate my jokes. Thank you so much, Johnny Redbeard. I'm not too shabby with the jokes either. All right, Jim, on the under, you could take 209 -110, but Pinnacle has 208.5 plus 102. As far as value is concerned, the Pinnacle line is probably better, but for your sanity, if you want to take 209, whatever you want to do.
No, I agree with you. 208.5.
All right, under 208.5 plus 102 is the best line, and that is a Pinnacle right now.
Great.
Okay, what else would you like?
I am taking the Toronto Raptors over the Pacers. The Raptors had won 4 in a row and were looking very good until that nasty third quarter in New York. Every team goes through quarters like that. The Raptors are a 50-win team, and they will keep winning games. They're a veteran group, and you can bet that the third quarter against Indiana will be very different. They're going to talk about what happened. They're going to continually hammer what went wrong in that third quarter. Now, the Pacers have won 4 in a row and have been off since they beat Orlando on Monday. That's a lot of days off. I don't know if that helps that much. Oladipo is clearly a different player this year. Put up 29 in that game against Orlando, averaging 22.65 rebounds, 3.7 assists. McMillan says he is an absolute sponge and has more film sessions with him than any other player. And that really impressed me. He went to college in Indiana. He says that after a year in Orlando, 1 in OKC, he feels like he's home, and he's playing that way. I've been extremely impressed with Oladipo. In saying all that, that's why we're getting a nice number with the Raptors, and I think the Raptors are going to roll.
All right, -2, -110 is the market-wide line. Every book has that one. Just addressing a few comments here. Let's see. Go get them in the NBA. Someone was asking about. Someone was saying, what about the bag on college basketball before you move on. We're doing division of labor. I am up in NBA and NHL, but I'm not going to have any NHL or NBA picks today because I didn't have time to look at it, and Jim did not have time to look at college basketball or college football today. We will be doing another show at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Who knows what we'll have time to have done between then and now. But as of right now, I'm covering college football and college basketball for the day games, and Jim's covering NBA and NHL. All right, what else do you want, Jim?
Those are my 3 official picks. Now, we'll break down the other games, and maybe if we can figure some capping out together, but those are the 3 picks that I'm confident in, that I really am excited to move forward in. Why don't we start with Pistons at Thunder?
Okay.
The big 3 finally looked very good for a full game in their home win over the Warriors on Wednesday. Is this a letdown spot? Melo says the team talked about turning a corner and the importance of not letting up against the Pistons. And that needed to be said because this is that extremely... this letdown spot just looks very, very possible here. The Pistons have lost 3 of 4. The losses have all coincided with Tobias Harris shooting poorly. He is such a hugely important person in the team, and I think he was playing a little over his head. I do. I think he was shooting a little over his head. Now, for the last 4 games, he's hitting 37.8 from the field, 33% from 3. The Pistons played those 4 games in 6 nights and now have been off since Monday. What do you think about these 3-day rests and 4-day rests?
I'm sorry, in the NBA?
Yes.
I mean, it really depends on the team makeup, so many other factors. I wouldn't say there's anything about it that is universal that I can say.
I don't like 4 days off. I think that it's just a little bit too long. Now they got 3 days off: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they're coming back. But it's questionable. Jose Ruiz says, is Andre healthy? His elbow was hurting him when they got smacked. Too good to be true says +8 Detroit is easy money. This is a tricky spot. I don't know what the Thunder are going to do. I've not had a good read on them this year. I've liked the Pistons a lot, and they got destroyed by the Cavs, and they talk about that loss. But I'm going to stay off of this game.
Okay. We can stay on NBA as long as you want. We are at about 12:42 Eastern time. We do have to get to NHL. Do you want to talk about more NBA games, or you want to move on to NHL, Jim?
I'll talk about a couple more. Okay. Heat at Timberwolves. When we took the Heat to stop the Celtics winning streak, Dion Waiters was coming off an 0 for 10 game. I think it's extremely advantageous to back elite scorers after bad games. And yes, I just called Dion Waiters an elite scorer. The Heat have not shown any consistency this year. They're a very difficult team to figure out. The Wolves won 125-122 in overtime on October 30th when these 2 teams met, but Whiteside was not in the lineup for that game. The Wolves had their way in the paint. They will not have that luxury tonight. The Wolves have been outscored by double digits in the 4th quarter of their last 2 home games. I can't understand what's going on. They were outscored 38-18 by the Magic on Wednesday night, and although they held on for a 6-point win, it cost me money because I had them at 7. For the season, they're being outscored by an average of 4.3 points in the 4th quarter, 28th in the league in 4th quarter scoring. That's got to be something that we use to our advantage as we move forward, especially in play bets. Hornets at Cavs is a very exciting game, a very interested game. Jose Ruiz says Cleveland to roll. LeBron James has been dominating. We've all seen it. He put up 31 on November 15th, the last time these 2 teams met. But in that game, Dwight Howard was in foul trouble all game long. He finished with 8 points and 5 rebounds, and I'm confused with how they can use them against some of the speedster bigs that the Cavs have. So I don't know how he could be very useful. The big problem with Charlotte here is Batum re-injured his left elbow. They're calling it a contusion. He did not travel with the team. Now Jeremy Lamb will come in and play great, but then the second unit will take a huge hit. The Hornets are just 1-7 on the road this year, and I find it impossible to back them. So much so that I'm leaning towards Cleveland and may make that a bet on the Late Show.
Okay, yes. Jose Ruiz says Cleveland to roll. He likes it. Richie Rich liking the Pelicans over. Great pace on both teams, he says. And Ace King says Memphis +6.5 is the play. Denver's in a tailspin. Millsap injury hurts, and Gasol against Gasol and the boys. So Ace King says Memphis +6.5 is the play.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold at this point. Brandon Wright's out, so now Deontay Davis has come in, and he's looked okay. The Mavericks came back from 18 down on Wednesday night. This team just is not very good. Now, the Nuggets looked atrocious in their first game without Millsap. They'll start looking better. Jokic said he's kind of sad about the injury. Mike Malone is not sure how to handle it. He tried starting small with Chandler. That didn't work. He tried Fareed one game and then benched him completely for the whole game against Houston. So they're in a they're in a messy spot. The Pelicans game is very interesting. Pelicans look very good in their 17-point win over the Spurs. And remember when we correctly faded Davis and Cousins, when we faded them with the Nuggets had all those bigs. And here we have another team with a bunch of bigs. Now, I don't think that these Suns bigs, Monroe, Chandler, Len, Bender, and Chris are as tough. Now, obviously, Monroe and Chandler are, but are they too slow? I don't think the bigs are going to be as useful. Suns had 29 turnovers in their overtime loss to the Bucks. They look terrible. And then the final game is the Bulls-Warriors. Warriors lost to the Thunder, was their 5th of the season. Their first 4 times they've lost, they've come back to win by an average of 18.5 points. So I really think the first half Warriors cover is the play here, and I haven't made an official pick yet, but it's certainly a lean that I may hammer on the late show that we do here. Since the start of 2014, they're 36-7 following the loss. They did not have a good road trip, 2-2, 37 turnovers in their 2 losses, 17.1 turnovers a game, which is 28th in the league. Curry had 19 turnovers in those 4 games, and the Bulls are just shooting terribly. 39.2% from the field, 30.1% from 3 on this Western road swing. I really like Warriors first half. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to put that in right now. Okay. Warriors first half.
Okay. Let me find it. Golden State Warriors first half. Let me just find it. Best line would be -11, -103.
Got it.
Okay.
-11, -103. And then we have a great hockey card, so let's start hammering.
Let's move on to Iowa. First, let me just review Jimmy's picks. The Knicks -1.5, -104. Boston under 208.5, +102. Toronto -2, -110. And the Warriors first half -11, -103. All right, moving on to NHL, which Jim is also taking a look into. Now, Jim and I, obviously a lot of volatility in variance in hockey, empty net goals, everything, all sorts of crazy stuff happening. So we've had our ups and downs, but let's throw that record up because as of right now, all things considered, adding it all up, we are up. My record in hockey, 61-55, average line of +102, up 7.8 units, +6.1% ROI. And Jim is 62-68, average line of +110 though, +4.2 units, +3% ROI. And just last week, we were negative. So, but we got some balls, we did some good handicapping. And when you combine good handicapping with a little bit of balls, good things tend to happen. Not always, but they tend to happen.
Absolutely, and I'm concerned about this hockey card because it's difficult, and I have a whole bunch of picks. So let's go through them in no particular order. I'll let you guys know the ones I really like the best as we go through there.
All right, we'll just give each one so I can at least quote the line.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll start with Islanders.
Okay.
I'm taking the Islanders as the road dog here against the Flyers.
All right. Well, they're not quite a road dog. Best line we could offer would be -101.
That's fine. I'll take that. Now I'm going to bet. I'm going to fade the Flyers every single game that Radko Gudas is out of the lineup. Isles beat the Flyers 4-3 in overtime on Wednesday night. Josh Bailey is quietly becoming an elite scorer. 5 goals, 21 assists in 21 games. On pace to score 102 points. Him and Tavares look very good together. Tavares has 15 goals on the campaign. The Flyers have lost 6 straight. Now only 3 have been in regulation, but the Flyers have a great first line and nothing else. Wayne Simmons has gone 14 games without a goal. Their penalty kill is 28th in the league at 75%. They've allowed 8 power play goals in their last 4 games. I'm going to fade them every single game that Gudas is out of the lineup.
Okay.
Next bet, I'm taking another road team. I'm taking the Jets over the Ducks.
Okay, best line here would be -102 at sportsbetting.ag, Pinnacle, and a few other places.
Jets are 7-2-1 in their last 10 and are playing great hockey. Their first line of Scheifele, Wheeler, and Laine is one of the best in hockey. Hellebuck is giving them excellent goaltending, top 10 in both goals against average and save percentage. The Ducks have handled things well without Kessler, Getzlaf, and Eves. They're 10-8-3 thanks to tremendous goaltending, but they're allowing an average of 36.7 shots per game. They're being outshot by an average of 6.8 a game. Cogliano said that something needs to be figured out. He said that they were ahead 2-0 against the Golden Knights, and that wasn't a true indication of the game, that they're getting lucky out there and they're being outplayed night after night. And I see it happening as well, and I'm going to start fading them.
Okay.
Next bet, I've got the Lightning at Capitals over. Now, am I still getting 5.5? Because I saw some were going to 6.
Lightning at Capitals over. Yes, you want the over 5.5. Best line would be -119 at Bet Online, Pinnacle, and a few other places.
Perfect. Trotz finally put Backstrom and Ovechkin back together. I don't know why he waited so long to do this. It was, I think, a mistake. Kuznetsov looks really good on the second line with 2014 first-round pick Jakub Vrana. Vrana, who I didn't know very much about until the last few weeks. The Lightning continue. Oh, and Vrana, all 10 points he's had this year are all even strength. The Lightning continue to play like the best team in the league, and I think there's going to be goals tonight.
Okay.
Next, I'm taking the Golden Knights at home. What line am I getting there?
Best line right now would be plus 109 at, again, Bet Online, Pinnacle, and a few other places.
I can't believe the Golden Knights are a home dog. They are first place in the Pacific Division. James Neal leads the team with 11 goals. He's playing great. Fourth stringer, Maxime Legace, is playing like a first stringer. He's won 3 straight. They tied the 1917-18 Montreal Canadiens for the record for most wins through the first 20 games of the season by an expansion team. They are 8-1-0 at home, and I'm getting a plus line on them. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Big Joe had a slow start coming back from offseason knee surgery. Little Joe Pavelski is nowhere to be found. 4 goals and 5 assists in 20 games. This doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm going to hammer it. Then I'm taking the over in the Oilers at Sabres. I see Gil Gates loves the Buffalo and Buffalo money line. I'm going to take the over in this game, and I'm getting plus, right?
The over best line would be 5.5 plus 113, which is at Bet Online, Pinnacle, and a few other places.
Plus 113 on a 5.5 is a great place to be in. The Sabres have now lost 7 straight. I watched that game against the Wild, and they look good offensively. Just Lehner is an absolute bum right now. They held a team meeting after the loss to the Wild. I have no idea where the hell Jack Eichel is and why he's playing this way. Oilers got goals from 6 different players in their 6-2 win at Detroit on Wednesday. Talbot looks absolutely awful. These 2 goalies are playing so badly. How am I getting a plus number at 505? I'm going to take it.
Okay.
Then I'm taking the under in the Senators at Jackets.
Okay, hold on. The Senators, the under on that one would be under 5.5 minus 119. Once again, Pinnacle, Bet Online, and a few other places.
Jackets are on a 5-game winning streak. During these 5 games, Bobrovsky has a 0.78 goals against average and a 978 save percentage. The D is playing very well in front of them. They limited the Flames to just 22 shots in that 1-0 victory. But they have 10 goals in their last 5 games. So the Jackets are 7-0-1 in overtime and shootouts. Senators have lost 4 straight and only scored 5 goals over that span. Matt Duchene has yet to record a point in 6 games for the Senators. I'm sure that's going to change at some point. But I don't know if it's going to change tonight, and I'm happy, very happy with the under.
Okay.
I'm also taking the under in the Leafs at Hurricanes.
Okay, that line right now, let me see. Leafs at Hurricanes, under best line would be 6 minus 105 at Pinnacle.
Love it.
Okay.
Canes lost badly, 6-1 to the Rangers. They had a tough workout on Thanksgiving and have vowed to play tighter. The Leafs have only produced 2 goals in their last 129 and a half minutes. They're coming off a 2-1 shootout loss to the Panthers. This is just a tough string for them, and I'm comfortable and confident in the under 6 there.
Okay.
I also have the over in the Predators at Blues.
Okay, that would be 5.5 minus 105, pretty much everywhere.
Plus 5.5 at minus 105. I like that very much. Tarasenko, Schenn, and Schwartz might be the best line in hockey right now. Clearly, Schenn is the hottest player in the NHL.
Not plus 105, minus 105.
Okay, sorry, plus 5.5,
right.
minus 105. Thank you. They were put together on a line October 25th. They've scored 18 goals and 34 assists in those 13 games. Schenn has 19 points in his last 8 games. That's the highest output of any Blue in an 8-game stretch since the late Pavel Demitra in 2000. The Preds knocked out the Blues in the playoffs last year. They have the NHL's best record in November at 8-2-0. Subban says they haven't played their best hockey yet. I think these are the 2 best teams in the Western Conference. The Jets are really playing well, but I think these are the 2 best teams, and I think there's going to be some goals tonight.
Okay.
Now, I'm taking the under in the Flames at Stars game. Flames are 6-3-1 on the road. What is the number I'm getting?
Under right now would be 6 minus 115.
Under 6 at minus 115. Smith is hot right now. Stopped 40 of 41 shots in their last game and said afterwards that they didn't deserve to win. The Stars look much better at home than they do on the road, but they're still not scoring goals at home, and the Flames are having a difficult time scoring. And if the Stars stay out of the penalty box, and they do have great penalty killing, that I think they're going to be just fine against the Flames. So, and then my next bet, I have the Kings over the Coyotes. Coyotes are 1-7-1 at home after losing to the Sharks 3-1 on Wednesday. Antti Raanta got hurt again and is out with an upper body injury, which means Scott Wedgwood will be in net. thought they had more scoring chances than the Sharks. They're going to need more scoring chances because with Wedgwood in goal, they're just not going to win many games. Now, Johnny Quick has lost 6 straight games, all in regulation.
You want the money line or the puck line?
What am I getting at the money line?
Well, the money line, best line would be minus 136.
I will take the puck line.
Okay, puck line, best line would be, sorry, let me see, at UWager, plus 215.
Plus 215, love it. Quick has lost 6 straight games, all in regulation, and the Kings have only scored 9 goals in those 6 games. But they outshot the Jets 39-27 in their 2-1 loss on Wednesday night, and I expect them to get off the schneid in Phoenix and keep Phoenix's home woes going. So then, is that every single pick? Let me see, I might have, I've given the Golden Knights, taking the Lightning Capitals over. Any games that you guys want to talk about? Antoine Seymour wants to talk Minnesota, Colorado. Nathan McKinnon tied for the lead in points during the month of November with 17. They've been winning and playing well since they got Matt Duchene out of the dressing room. And Jonathan Bernier got his first shutout of the season. And we see this sometimes when backups come in and they get to play back-to-back starts. Semyon Varlamov is still sick. Bernier knows he's going back in and he's confident right now. Wild have received a point in 6 of their last 7 games. The Wild are a strange team right now because Niederreiter and Granlund have scored 8 of their last 9 goals. They're getting no secondary scoring whatsoever. I love the way Niederreiter is playing 6'2", 210, going hard to the net every shift. It's a tough spot, and I'm going to stay away from this game.
Okay. A lot of people just say, love the good work. Thank you so much. A lot of people like agreeing with you with the Vegas as a home dog. Some people saying that the Buffalo overpick is good. What else do you? Any other picks you want to give, Jim?
No, that would be every. I have the Jet? Yeah, that's everything. Lightning Capitals over, Golden Knights. I'm staying off the Red Wings at Rangers. I'm also staying off the Canucks at Devils. And the reason why I'm staying off that, even though we were so richly rewarded taking the Canucks, is that we were finding holes in both Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So the Bruins-Pittsburgh game that's going to start in 3 minutes is another game I would like to have taken it, but you know. Carter Rowney did not play, and he will be back tonight. I just don't trust this Bruins offense whatsoever, but Anton Khudobin is playing absolutely incredible. There's no doubt about it. But the reason why I'm staying off the Canucks game is this Devils is a healthy full squad. When we faded both Philly and Pittsburgh, we found holes in their lineup, and we were taking advantage of angles. And because of these 2 games that Canucks look so good in, the line is not as good as I would have wanted for a dog. And I'm very comfortable staying away from this game. They also lost Goodbranson to an upper body injury. Now, if Tanev is in to replace him, and if I hear that, I might add this to the late show because I think Tanev is a huge difference maker and a great defenseman. But that's it. That's everything.
Okay, that sounds good. So shall we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up with some final comments, and I'm going to review all the records. A couple of very funny comments. First of all, Gerard asks Pete, "Did you eat turkey or MILF yesterday?" Well, neither one, but I love MILF. I do love MILF. Jeremy Scott says, "Great show, guys. Thank you so much, Jeremy Scott." A lot of people giving positive comments. Carlos Luders asked, are we doing a UFC video for this weekend? The answer to that is yes. I'm doing the UFC video later on today. And just in honor of that, Juan, you got the MMA record up there that I got? I'm just throwing this up there because I'm proud of it. Overall record in MMA, here we go. My record is 32-19, average line minus 103, plus 12.5 units, plus 17.3% ROI. That's in 2017 MMA.
Wow.
Very, very nice. Not too shabby right there.
Very
and
nice.
I'm coming off of a nice one. All right. Perfect rotations. I'll see you all on the later show. Yes, our next show will be at 6 o'clock Eastern time, where Jim and I will look at some of the line moves and try to do some more research and try to give some more picks. As of right now, I will review all the picks, and there's a shit ton of them. In NBA, Jim has the Knicks minus 1.5, Boston under 208.5, Toronto minus 2, and Golden State first half minus 11. In hockey, Jim has Dallas under 6, St. Louis over 5.5, Islanders minus 101, Winnipeg minus 102, Washington over 5.5, Vegas at home money line plus 109, Carolina under 6, Buffalo over 5.5 plus 113, Columbus under 5.5, and the Kings puck line plus 215. I have a bunch of plays in college football and college basketball. In college football, I'm on, where the hell am I on? I'm on, very controversial pick, Arkansas under 69.5 149.5, minus 110. That might be a loser right there. I'm on Buffalo plus 6.5. San Diego State minus 21. Troy first half minus 14. UCF over 62.5. That might be a loser right there. I'm hoping it won't be. Iowa first half minus 2. San Diego State over 46. And then in college basketball, I'm on Alabama over 150. Penn State under 149.5. Irvine under 143.5. Oregon State under 154. And Rutgers minus 12. And that's it. Those are all the official picks we've given so far. Thanks so much for all the positive comments. Jim and I are slugging it out every day, doing as much research as we can, trying to make this show as good as we can possibly make it, and we really appreciate all the positive comments from all of y'all, and also all the enlightening educational comments about your takes on these handicapping games that really help us day in and day out. Thanks so much. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern Time for the second Loshak in the Bag show for Friday, November 24th.